AskReddit by interesting ad 3430. What is your opinion on the Reddit blackout, and should AskReddit participate as one of the most active subs? It's important to remember, we are not the customers. Advertisers are the customers and our time and attention is the product. The question is not how people feel about this, but whether they let Reddit know how they feel about this. We'll see. I run ads on Reddit and there are a lot of us paying attention to what will happen to our campaign stats on these dates. Brands will vote with their wallets if they don't see the return they want, and that's largely influenced by Reddit users and their presence on the platform. It'll be interesting to see the data. Hopefully positive change will come from it. As I learned in another sub, from a question I asked, we, as users, should log out and not even visit Reddit in support of the cause, if you support the cause obviously. I tend to agree that any of it will not lead to any change. Especially just 2 days. I think a month would be better. But I'm all for it and going to do something rather than nothing. I've seen several, albeit slightly smaller, subs announcing that they're going dark indefinitely until something changes, and forever if need be. I can't imagine AskReddit will do the same, but I would personally be in favor. Take it all down and leave the bots scrambling to post on 4chan or whatever other shitty social media place accepts them. Take it down and leave it down until Reddit capitulates. A 2-day boycott isn't going to realistically achieve anything. My only thought is, how will we know when we can come back? I mean, if I'm not checking Reddit to see. Also my question. I'm a casual Reddit user, so if it'll help the people who do a lot of the work to keep Reddit going, then I'll participate in a blackout for as long as it takes, but how do we know when we can log in again? Deleted. They got rid of polls. I think after a week it will be forgotten and nothing will change from Reddit's side. 2 days won't have an impact. Leaving for months will have an impact. Same as every other blackout. I don't even remember what the last ones were about. This isn't just something that will be solved by smaller subs going dark. The larger ones, including AskReddit, need to go dark, if there is to be any hope of change, of a unified front. So, yes, I firmly believe there's a need to join in this protest. Our pique is on board and they are one of the biggest. I am 100% okay with Reddit charging fees to access their API. I am 100% against the amount they are charging. To have a third-party access go from $0 to $20 million a year is just asinine. Shut it down. Shut it down forever. Deleted. I honestly never knew there were third-party Reddit apps until this protesting started. I guess it's too late to download one and check it out. NAA, I had no idea how much better Boost, Bacon or If was until all this stuff started trending. I fully switched to Boost. Thank you Streisand Effect. The API charges are insane and AskReddit should absolutely participate in the blackout. Third-party apps are part of the ecosystem and without them Reddit will lose mobile users due to the inadequacy of their app. We really need AskReddit to join because it's the most ubiquitous subreddit on the site. Losing AskReddit would be a huge blow, and a huge voice to the cause. Deleted. Deleted. Personally I think the blackout is absolutely necessary, and may need to last longer to really get the point across. From what I've read, after previous long blackouts Reddit pretty much said do this again and AMP, we'll just replace you with mods who won't, which is why it's 2 days. There's the possibility that the blackout is repeated, there's obviously also the possibility that it's not despite likely nothing changing, so I guess we'll all see what happens by the end of next week. Personally, at that point I'll be watching Strange New Worlds anyway. Black this motherfucker out. I'm kinda confused as how are the blackouts working? Like, are people somehow unable to post or interact with posts? However, I do feel as yes. As I understand it, subs participating in the blackout will go private for the 2 days, or however long the blackout will last, so you can't see or interact with the posts. Big grain of salt though, I'm really not the most knowledgeable person when it comes to Reddit. It's necessary to make a statement, and AskReddit should lead by example. 100%. This one sub drives more new users to the site than any other. AskReddit is featured constantly on every single other social media platform. I personally am unaffected by the update. The blackout, however, does bother me in that the people who are affected want to ruin it for everyone else simply because they can't have their way. This is the way of a petulant child, and I feel that if this update is so terrible, they should leave, and again, not ruin it for everyone. I wish someone would be daring enough to create replacement subs. With all the displaced Redditors, it would be an easy void to fill, and maybe when this tantrum is over there won't be any need for them to come back. I'm telling myself that I'm going to leave all these subs that have gone private. That'll really show em, but then I wouldn't have anything to do here. I'll leave and the blackout will have worked. I'm just tired of protesters that affect the day-to-day of us political pawns. I'm just trying to unwind. If you've made it this far, thank you for donating your time reading my rant. I hope it was everything you dreamed of, and then some. Please tell me where I'm wrong. You are not wrong. 100% accurate to make comparisons to a petulant child, because that's exactly the way many are acting over this. Deleted. 7 years is an eternity in business. Reddit is hardly the same now as it was then. As someone who uses Reddit casually, this is just an all-around bad situation for me. Like, I just want to browse stuff, but 90% of Reddit is dark, so I can't. Like, come on. I honestly could care less about the policy changes, and I really don't care if I'm a customer or a product. I literally just want to look at stuff. And now most of the subs that I visit regularly are blacked out. I'm being dragged into this protest even though I don't want to be part of it. Edit. I no longer hold this opinion. I'm keeping it up because I don't think it's good to erase past mistakes. This. I literally cannot care about anything less. While I'm a strict desktop old Reddit user who will continue to sing its praises over any kind of app, be that official or third party. 2 days of self-imposed downtime will accomplish nothing. It's a pointlessly performative gesture at best. Make it indefinite like what our videos is doing. And yes, AskReddit should take part. Deleted. My opinion, I approve. Should this sub participate? Yes. Nuff said. It's stupid as hell. Most PPL use Reddit to find information, but now we can't cause these communities are sticking it to the man when in reality they are just inconveniencing people trying to fix issues around their house, etc. My suggestion, which will not be read since it is too far down, is subs should just post links to Reddit alternatives those 2 days. Shutdown is cool and all, but how about offering alternatives? I see you. I think that's a good idea. It's stupid, so stupid the mods just want to feel powerful like they normally do. Who uses third-party apps for Reddit anyways? Just use the regular app, you nerd. No need to make the subreddits private. I have no idea what is going on. Didn't know there were other apps available. Visually impaired Redditor here. I'm quite affected by this matter, and I would hope our AskReddit would believe in access for all. Apollo seems to have less than 1 million users based on the API usage numbers given by the developer. The other apps have said they have similar metrics. So between all the apps, there's maybe a few million users who aren't using the official site or official app. I hope it'll send a message. But given the numbers, I believe Reddit is going to gamble on losing hundreds of thousands of users. What really needs to happen is a mass exodus like what happened to Dig. It could happen. but everyone needs to find a new site that they all want to go to. Even though I use no third-party apps, I still will be striking because of what the damage will be to users who have accessibility issues and rely on third-party apps to be able to use Reddit at all. Reddit basically told visually impaired users tough shit. I think many who don't use third-party apps will follow suit in solidarity. Probably should participate. This sub gets boring with all the exact same sex posts and slight variation of a popular post that's been asked 3 days before. Give some people time to think of an actual question. AskReddit has done a blackout for much smaller issues before. Don't care in the slightest. Door in the face technique, https://en.wiki.org/door-in-the-face_technique After the blackout, Reddit will capitulate and drastically reduce the API fee, which still heavily impacts the app developers, but the user base will celebrate and shout we did it. See, while Reddit gets a new revenue stream where they wouldn't have otherwise. Even if a nominal API fee were suggested, it would have been rejected outright. The goal wasn't to create this massive revenue stream, the goal was to create another additional revenue stream, and then minimize the user backlash while conditioning us to accept the original proposal they had in mind. It's all bullshit, and I say tear the whole fucking thing down. Close all the subreddits permanently, let the mods accept that their fiefdom is over, and just move it all somewhere else. Reddit is just circling the drain at this point with the huge bills they have to pay for the VC money they tied up to give us shitty avatars and NFTs we didn't want in the first place. Deleted. I think it's incredibly stupid and will amount to nothing. Who cares about third-party apps? God forbid Reddit wants to keep their API on a shorter leash. If we really want to push for something, let's push for Reddit to bring the things those third-party apps providing to Reddit natively. What's gonna happen to the Stop Drinking sub? I'm there daily for support. I think subs decide to black out individually, ask the mods on there. It's striking against Reddit as a company, not forced by them. Productivity in offices across the globe will increase for 2 days. Corporations start paying Reddit admins to piss off the user base every so often to increase their bottom line during crunch times. I see you, Reddit admins. Well played. Necessary and probably necessary for longer than 48h. I get the cause. The cause doesn't affect me one way or the other, and it's nothing unexpected. Reddit is pushing more to use their app. So I'm not fond of the blackout at all. Actually, to the point where I dislike those other apps now. This isn't gonna change anything and this is pointless. Honestly, if these people want to permanently leave Reddit, so be it. I certainly don't want to share a platform with them. Then we can start again without all the brutal mass shaming for opposing opinions and power mods nonsense. Can someone please explain why there's a Reddit blackout? It's good. All subreddits should join the blackout. All the subreddits where I posted disappeared. Reddit has a moderation problem. The less tools Reddit mods have, the better. I posted this in another forum, and I will paste it here. Do it. Black it out. Black it out and keep it out until Reddit comes to its senses. I love this site and spend tons of time here every day, but this is Reddit trying to strong arm us through childish and punitive measures. We are the users, and this site is nothing without us. It's time we make a stand. This post has been removed in protest of Reddit's quest to screw its users and third-party app developers. I hope you Spez grows tastabuds on his rectum. That is all. I'm for the blackout. Honestly, Reddit should bring some of these third-party devs on board and have them integrate their features into the official app. Basic accessibility for disabled people is not a huge ask. Also, moderation bots are required for subreddits to even be user posts rather than just floods of spam. Reddit's content is all user generated. If the user stops generating, the content goes away. We may not have as much control as we should, but a user strike would still have an effect. I say we go for it. Every sub should participate. 2-day blackout is a good thing. Successive 2-day blackouts, or even a week, fine. Mods threatening to destroy their sub the second the 14th of June hits are incredibly selfish. I get the argument, I really do understand it, but a couple of subs now have mods that are overreacting and it is obvious they are seething with rage and have already made up their minds to burn it to the ground. You take responsibility when you run a sub. Whatever. I hope TGE majority stays reasonable and steady with the fight and things do turn around. This sub should join the 2-day and consider promoting successive ones if Reddit doesn't respond. Subs can make Reddit as a business miserable while preserving their communities. Evidently Reddit's own tools are inadequate or just damn clumsy for some small percentage of users and community moderators. I don't use third-party apps, but I think it's a very bad look to suddenly decide you hate competition in tooling so much that you're just going wall off the content. So, I support the blackout and I support AskReddit's participation. I'm okay with it, but why on earth support type of subreddits went blackout too? How is that helping anyone? It's already sucks mods and people who use third-party to use Reddit will struggle. So in response they shut their subreddit that intended to be mental health support place doesn't make sense. Wasn't the Ukraine subreddit getting harassment for staying open when they use that Reddit to try and save lives because they're in a war zone? At the end of the day this blackout is just power mods having a tantrum. Is what Reddit's doing even wrong? A fake they are just charging for API access to their database. If they're running the backend processing costs of that API call to their database, why shouldn't they charge? They're losing money otherwise. As for cost, IDK what is reasonable, but it would surely be stupid for them to make it astronomical. No one would be able to pay it. So they must think the 20 mil figure is reasonable and doable, right? Also surely this doesn't affect like 95% of people on here, only mods in that.